So one more lesson to learn about beauty, the true beauty. The Kotzker Rab said, "En davar shalem yoter milev shavur." Nothing is more complete than a broken heart. It's like a Zen thing, which is a very wonderful thing to contemplate on, to think about, to grow with. Because when your heart is whole, is not broken, you have always, when we talk about perfection, our view of perfection is quite distorted. It's quite distorted. And that's why the Kotzker Rab said, and I'll show you, hopefully, Be'ezrat Hashem, what does it really mean, what the Kotzker Rab says? En davar shalem yoter milev shavur. Nothing is more complete than a broken heart. Which, again, it's like, what's the sound of one hand clapping, The most complete thing is a broken heart. So, you need to understand, first of all, that nothing is complete in this world. Nothing is shalem. The only shalem is shalom, is Hashem. Nothing is complete in this world. Everything, including the universe itself, just fell, are always in an eternal stage of change. Either it's being created, or it's being destroyed. Nothing is ever permanent. It's not. Something is always evolving. Even a mountain is evolving. How winds come, a rock falls, tectonic change, of plates move. It always changing. Even the planet, even the universe, always changing. Either being created or being eliminated. Always. Nothing stays. So when you're not going nowhere, you're actually going. Just in a direction that you're not controlling. That's why a person needs to take an initiative in himself and understand that he's in constant motion and direct your motion to something productive. Something that is going to benefit you and others. But when you're sitting down with batel, you're batlan, doing nothing, you are basically sitting on a train that is completely out of control. You don't know where it's going to take you. Because you're always changing. Your cells in your body. There's never going to be an instant that nothing is changing. No creation of new cells and no elimination of old cells. It's always changing. Always. And sometimes we like to say, "Oh, this is a done deal. It's a finished thing." Or this moment in my life is a complete moment. This is a finish. I finished something. You never finished anything. If you're going to look around you. You look around you. What's the perfect? What's the complete stage, for example, of something beautiful like a plant? Right? When is the plant considered to be shalem, complete? When is that considered to be shalem? Is it when it reaches perfection? When is the moment of perfection of the plant? When it's blooming? When it's carrying seeds? If you're going to say, "Oh, when the flower is blooming, right, and it's full bloom, that's the moment of perfection." No, it's not, because that only reached from bloom so you could develop seeds. And then the seeds, they look like this, and yes, that's what's going to make the flower grow again. And the flower grows, and then it dies if it's a perennial, so it grows again. So when is the moment of perfection? When is the moment of perfection? When the plant, it reached perfection, then it died, it eliminated, or it just emerging from the ground? There's never a moment of perfection, because there's no such thing as perfection. In order to solve that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, "I am perfect, I am perfection." There is such thing. Everything around us is an ever-evolving change. That's the mistake that many couples make in their relationship. All right, so I see this beautiful girl, I like her, she likes me, I like you, you like me, let's make a happy family, right? That's it, I don't have to work anymore. She's my wife, I put the ring on the finger, we popped out a couple of kids, it's all good, that's it. We are on cruise control. That's the mistake that you're going to make. That's a recipe for disaster. Because your relationship is ever evolving, always changing. The experiences that I had gone through today and the experiences that my wife had gone through today are not the same to me and her, are not the same as they were yesterday. Today I was evolved in a certain way different than I was yesterday, and therefore my relationship with my wife today would evolve, and I need to make the proper adjustment in order to make sure that we are going in a proper direction. Every day. Every day. The moment that you see, the motion that you see straight like this, doesn't mean that things don't change. Look at an autopilot. I told you this a million times. You look at an autopilot on a plane. You think you're sitting on a plane at 30,000 feet like this. Noise, people pushing you. The plane is going straight. If you look, the plane is not going straight. The flaps are always moving, correcting a little bit, always, because the computer is sensing all the time. The more sensors, the more ability to sense the changing and to make the proper adjustments all the time, the smoother the ride is. But it's always testing. It's always sensing because it's always moving. There's no such thing as forever. There's no eternal. The only thing eternal is the fact that it's going to change. It's a wheel. It's changing, evolving all the time. And so maybe you're going to tell me where perfection is when the seeds actually of the plant spread all over like a dandelion, like this, and they spread all over the place. You see, Rabotai, there's no moment of perfection. There's always room and move and things to improve. There's always movement in everything. There's no, okay, this is now complete. Oh, I reached the promised land. Even when they reached the promised land, they had to go 42 stations in the desert. And they reached the promised land. So they reached the promised land, and now what? Now you got to plant, and you got to harvest, and you're going to... It's never... Okay, that's it. I'm on a time freeze. It's not like in a TV that you do freeze or whatever, pause or whatever it is that you do. Oh, the person stays like this. It's always changing. And therefore, you need to understand that, and you come to understand that real, true greatness exists in, believe it or not in the great things, but rather in the things that are in the events or whatever it is that are always on the margins, always at the end. The things that you don't pay attention to, usually things that the eye comes to ignore and not acknowledge. The little things in life, these are the great things in life. I think maybe that's one of the explanations that I have, that the Japanese are obsessed, by the way, with miniature things. They make everything miniature. It's not, nothing has to be colossally big, like American size, wow, the bigger the better. No, it's not always the bigger the better. And we need to remember that. Sometimes it's not the most expensive thing that you buy let's say you want to buy your wife, I don't know, whatever it is. If she's a woman with a little bit of a spiritual, a drop of spirituality in her, she would realize it's more important from where you give and how you give than rather than what you give. And we don't understand that. And when we were talking at the time about the, wabi sabi and all those, which is, I think, is a most beautiful and novel idea. And you understand that it's not at those moments of appreciation. Everybody wants to go and see, I don't know what, the Grand Canyon. Breathtaking views. Right? And then, you know what happens usually? They go to the Grand Canyon. They say, "Oh, that's it. That's the Grand Canyon. Not a big deal." Because in their mind they created some kind of they wanted moment that does not exist. You see the Grand Canyon, you said, that's something worthy to say bracha or say Maaseh Bereshit, or you go to Niagara Falls, you say, that's it? So what do people do in Niagara Falls? Yalla, let's go, under the water, let's do, what you call this, zip lines. Niagara Falls, are you doing zip lines? I was in Niagara Falls, I was on the American side, and I was completely taken by, I was really mesmerized by looking just at the water, the amount of water that it's flowing there. And I said, this is mind-boggling. I don't care about how spectacular the waterfalls, which is spectacular, but the amount of water. I said, how is this possible? How come this water never ends? I felt like I'm going to be swept there every second. So, because why? And I'll tell you what, because when I grew up in Israel, we were very, very careful about water. Always close the tap, make sure nothing leaks, don't let it run. So it develop an appreciation for water. People that grew up in America, they have water bli sof, right? So for them, water is water, doesn't make a difference. So therefore, you learn from here something, that the true appreciation will start, and the true appreciation would be found in little things, not necessarily in breathtaking views and breathtaking experiences and so on and so forth. And that's why we keep on looking for this big moments of extreme excitement or stimuli that is going to blow my mind out. We want all these whistles and bells and chains and whips and all the other crazy things. We don't understand that just a touch of a loved person like this is enough. But you want everything. And you don't understand why you having, and it's not satisfying you. And therefore you want more. And you say, maybe that's not, so I'm going to take drug enhancing experiences, LSDs and whatever it is I'm going to take, speed, because it can't be that I'm not feeling anything. You are feeling, but you don't know how to appreciate. And the true appreciation starts with the little things. And that's a noble idea. You need to understand that true beauty exists in the things that are temporary, in the hidden, in something that is going to pass, like your life. That's the true beauty. Something so gentle, something so refined that it skips the eye. You wonder why we don't hear heavenly voices? We hear, but we are so brute that we actually don't hear. Only an expert could understand the genius strokes of Michelangelo. How he layered, layer after layer, with a technique that nobody was able to duplicate, to create shading and all kind of things. Only when you look carefully you understand, and then you have the appreciation for a little thing. And that's the beauty also of a Jewish home. A Jewish lady doesn't need to do all kind of crazy acrobatics and wearing all kind of crazy clothes to make her husband desire her. That's a wrong idea. We are working on refining ourselves, that we don't need this, that just a glimpse on the eye will be an assurance of love. We don't need to buy all these things. And if you are, so basically you become external. You're a part of this big package deal. You want packages, wrapping. We want to display everything. Not understanding the beauty is not necessarily needs to be so extravagant. The true beauty is in the cracks. in the things that most people miss. And you all of a sudden says, oh my goodness. I remember one time I went hiking with the guys in Yeshiva. We went hiking with Ezra and Yitzchak, and we went to Sugarloaf Mountain, and we saw those. I was walking, I said, guys, stop. And we were amazed because we saw flowers. They looked like they were made out of wax. I've never seen flowers like this in my life. Plant, the whole plant was, the stalk and everything was white. It was crazy. It was made out of wax. I mean, it looked like it. And you walk and you don't pay attention. To see a little, those little funguses that grow on, you ever pay attention to funguses that grow on rocks? Those little round things. They're so spectacular, so beautiful. Did you ever stop to look at it? How amazing that is. Those little things. You go to the beach, what do you look at? You look at nude people. You don't look at the shells, at the little rocks or pebbles of glass that the waves smoothed out and now made this like, wow, this is really amazing, a piece of glass. Look how amazing that is. In California, there's a place, a beach, that now it's become like a national park. They used to dump glass there all the time. And now the whole entire, for years, and now the whole entire beach is covered with those beautiful glass pebbles that you're not allowed to pick. So garbage became something that we need to protect now because it's beautiful. But you need time for that. And we need to learn to appreciate things. Just like almost like, let's say, a homeopathic medicine, when you have it, you give small dosage. You don't need to bombard the body with like medicine that actually weakens the body rather than strengthen the body. You need to make like small adjustments for the body. This is also, in that concept, in let's say homeopathy, the smaller the dosage, the greater the effect. We just think the other way. The greater the dosage, the greater the effect. Not always like that. It actually wears your body out. So, and we should know that as long as we have this in mind, that the closer we get to the stage of so-called non-existence, this is how more we'll be able to become more aware and more awakened about what is really important in life. That's why an older man is wiser usually than a young man, because he's more aware. If you want to experience a little bit of what I'm talking about, you need to slow down. Slow down. You need to look around. You need to examine. You need to appreciate. How many times we walked around the block and said, wow, look at this beautiful flower. Wow, look at this beautiful pebble. Look at this beautiful... Rocks are amazing. All of a sudden you see a rock with lines in it. How beautiful that is. And who knows where it came from? Who knows who touched it? And once you know that, you could actually learn a lot. You could learn that you could bring about beauty even from what most people would consider to be ugly. And I think you would know it more than anybody since you work with disabled people. Right? If you work, most people will tell you, oh, these people are disabled. They're like, oh, they're disgusting. But I'm sure that you were able to experience the true beauty of these people that you can find by what we call, quote unquote, normal people. And most people will say they're ugly, but there's certain beauty in them that it's hidden to us. And it's only through compassion and understanding and love and patience, which we absolutely don't have in our society. And it's more than that. It's also the ability to make peace. Okay, so, that's what it is. In the Gemara, there's the story, right, about this man that's, this Tana, and the woman who mentioned names, and he came in to him, he says, oh man, you're such an ugly creature. He says, okay, if you have complaints, go to the guy who made me. The guy knew he's, but you're okay with yourself. And if you're okay with the way you were born, or the way you are, you were able to do more things because, okay, I left this behind me. I am what I am. I don't need to make myself uglier. But I am who I am, and now let's work on what I can change. I cannot change the way I look, but I can change the way I am. I can change the way I think. I can change the way I behave. And that's when the true beauty comes out. You should know, most men always think that women want, today women are not women anymore, most of them, but women want a big guy with muscles, the whole thing. And that's wrong, because most women would rather have a person with a strong personality that's going to be a solid person internally than a big muscle person that is a wimp inside. True bravery comes from internal strength, not from external strength. You could be a big guy you'll be afraid of mice. Jump on the table, scream like a girl. Comes a girl, picks up the thing. Oh, what's the matter? It's a mice. And so on and so forth. So we have it all wrong. And you should know that beauty is beauty is not something that is, okay, now it's beautiful and now it's going to stay beautiful forever. Beauty is is a very active process that happens all the time, and that's between a person and something else, a different object. And it might come, when you don't expect it. The beauty might emerge in moments that you don't expect them to emerge. So if you're looking for an externally beautiful partner or spouse and so on and so forth, you might be looking in the wrong way. Not saying that person is not good. Or beautiful people, handsome people are not. No, but you are looking for the wrong things. You're looking with the wrong eyes. It's like you have a wrong prescription on you. And you need to have also, of course, the perfect attitude towards life and towards beauty and towards perfection and so on and so forth. And you should know that beauty is an ever-changing moment or stage of awareness. And could be one moment which is a unique moment of almost grace that kind of emerges, even for a split of a second. That's beauty. That's what I think the Kotzker Rava said, that Ein davar shalem yoter ma'asher lev shabur. There's nothing more complete than a broken heart. So guys, let's bring from the beauty from within, especially during this time of the 3 weeks right before Tisha B'Av. Life is short, it's flying fast. We don't have time to waste it on things that don't make a difference. So have a beautiful day.